Now.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. So this is Mark Sehl from the YouTube channel Therapy for the Heart.
Right.
And as a great surprise, I came here this morning. This is Friday, Mark and Jerry's Day, which we always do every Friday. And I came upon Dr. Lucas and an old, could I say? Yeah.
Yes.
An old patient of Dr. Lucas has just happened to be here, and your name is Mary Lou.
Mary Lou Dicicco, yeah?
Dicicco.
Dicicco.
Okay, thanks for spelling it out for me. That's very good. And Dr. Lucas, do I have your permission to put this on YouTube?
No, that's right. Thank you very much.
I have your permission?
Right.
Yes?
Right.
Okay. And do I have your permission to put this on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Okay, and I have my permission to put it on YouTube. This is Mark Sehl from the Therapy for the Heart YouTube channel. It's nice to be here.
Wonderful.
So, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and...
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. I'm overwhelmed right now with being with both of you. I'm thrilled. I really am. I'm so touched. I feel like I just want to keep crying.
Good. Cry. We'll all cry together. Dr. Lucas and I cried a week ago.
Dr. Lucas has been my life for so many years. I met Dr. Lucas in the early 70s when I was a young mother of 3 boys and a very difficult marriage, and I had to find myself. I was losing myself, and Dr. Lucas helped me through these years. I saw Dr. Lucas. It was my life. He was incredible. Absolutely incredible.
How was he incredible?
He was just so real, and he knew how to bring me out and listen to me. Nobody ever listened to me the way he listened to me. And I'm from a generation that was very different than it is today. As far as I was very progressive in my thinking, but I was put down for it, and my family didn't accept it. And so instead of thinking for myself and believing in myself, I went ahead and did what everybody else wanted me to do. Not that I was a martyr, but that was the way it was. A Catholic person that had to do this and had to be the good mother, and oh my God, it's crazy.
Crazy,
and crazy. It was crazy. It almost made me crazy.
A lot of things you had to do.
I had so much creativity inside of me. And I am a creative person. And I had to bury all that in order to be accepted with the people that I was with. I feel like I'm getting carried away.
Why not get carried away?
I am.
That's what Dr. Lucas is, it's all about our feelings, right? Yeah.
He was, I can remember one session with Dr. Lucas that it was in the beginning, maybe a couple of years I had been with Dr. Lucas, and I had all this built-in frustration and anger that came out slowly. And then one session, it came out that I busted off the chair at the lounge that I was on, and I ran across the room and I looked over at Dr. Lucas, and he didn't budge. I'll never forget that, because he won my faith that day, because he didn't criticize me. He accepted me.
That was very important for you.
So
sounds like you had been.
I love Dr. Lucas.
Sounds like to me you had been criticized a lot.
Well, my whole life. That's all I knew. And I have an inner thing that I'm working it. I still have to work so hard at it. Because it starts as you're an infant.
Right.
Damn it. And then this man just had such patience with me. Such patience. And so we had group therapy for years. Met a lot of wonderful people. And I loved his wife, Marie. She was, I loved Dr. Lucas.
That's good.
And I used to bring my 3 sons to see Marie for a short period. But I was then in a society and married to someone who objected to all this. And I was criticized again because I was thinking differently. And there's a lot of, I feel like it could go on and on. But I'm so happy to be here today.
Very good. I'm so happy that I just happened to be here when you're here. That is very nice. This is what part of his, I think I mentioned before, but before I started the video, one day I was here and we was with Gerry, and we called a couple of people on the phone because we were talking about people who he taught and who knew him, and he said, well, maybe we can contact them.
Right.
And he said he used the word evidence, and that what he meant, evidence of your own existence and people who knew you and your own identity. Right, right?
Yeah.
That's evidence.
Exactly.
Yeah, so this is why I named the YouTube, the particular YouTube thing, collecting evidence. So that's what we're doing right now, and you're here and you're the evidence that you've known this person.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so good I came
For so many
today.
years, right?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, my whole life. I mean, my life was in order for me to grow and to be who I am and accept myself.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You mentioned about Dr. Lucas being real with you.
Oh.
What was important about that, and how real was he, and what was important?
He made me feel good about myself.
How did he do that? By listening, one
by
of the things.
listening,
Yeah.
by listening and accepting and
Mm-hmm.
making me understand the craziness of a lot of people that you absorb.
Mm-hmm.
And I absorbed a lot of craziness, and I'm still working on it, and it's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But I got support. I needed support. I needed that help, and he held my hand.
Holding hands is very important.
Not really
Support.
It's holding hands
Yeah.
now, but it's
Yeah.
support and acceptance and being who
Symbolically,
you are.
symbolically, he held your hand,
God,
right?
that's so
You know, sounds to me like what you're saying. Also, what you said, but just to paraphrase it in a little way, is that you had craziness in you, and as a result of that craziness, you were attacking yourself. Is that what happened with your own self-criticism?
That's right, constant.
Yeah?
Because
Yeah.
Of the upbringing that I had, with the criticism, constant,
Yeah.
so that it was a constant who I was and then who I was supposed to be.
Right.
So you know,
Yeah.
and you accept, and then you accept other, especially a parent.
Yes.
Okay, I'm still trying to, a mother is, oh man, I mean, there's so,
Yeah.
there's so much. I'm holding back on a few things. I feel like
That's okay. You can hold back. You're permitted here. That's all right.
I'm
You
holding
can
back
hold back.
because of the evilness that's done in life to people and the brainwashing and the.
Well, can I ask you another question? What makes you hold back right now?
I'm fearful of being too much.
Bringing too much what?
I'm fearful of being too much.
Being too much. What could happen if you were too much?
I'm so critical. It's
You're so critical.
Yeah, it's still there in my brain
Ah,
to be a little bit more, calm yourself down a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm very expressive.
yeah.
And, I'm very emotional, and I do believe.
You know what I could say, projecting into you, what I would be concerned about was expressing all the rage that I had and let it come out, and the tears and the hurt because of what was done to you, what was done to me. Similar. So I think yes. That's very hard to let it all come out.
And I've been going through a rough period of trying to stretch, keep moving forward.
So this is a particularly hard time for you.
Yeah, it is. I was, because I got to, I really got to believe in myself, and make some different changes, and I'm working on it. But it's, I'm going to make it a point to get here more often to be with Dr. Lucas, because I get strength just being with him.
Yeah.
Because I know who Dr. Lucas is.
I can see by just looking at you both how much you get from him and how much he is connected to you. So, yes. A lot of love there.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Dr. Lucas.
yes.
Life, boy, real.
It keeps on going, right? We keep having to work on things. It just doesn't get to a
Yeah, I
point where
know.
you stop working
I know,
on things,
I know.
right?
I might call you, come and see you.
All right. Yeah.
I need, it's like, in order for me to grow sometimes, I'm not sure what, I feel strong about certain things and weak in other ways. you
Yeah, I
know.
think we're all that many times weak and strong, and
Yeah.
we need to be able to
Yeah.
have someone to talk to
Yeah.
rather than keep it all inside.
That's right.
That's not. Yeah, that's right, Dr. Lucas. Right? Yeah.
Sure.
You helped me so
Yeah.
much for that. So,
Yeah.
do you live in the city here?
No, I don't. I live in, I just bought an apartment in Tarrytown 2 years ago. That's where
Oh.
I'm originally from.
Uh huh.
And my sister lives in this complex. It's called Ridgecroft Estates, and it's a nice complex. It's middle class, but it's surrounded in it's a nice area. Tarrytown is close to the Tappan Zee Bridge. But I have been up in Orange County near West Point for many years. I've been I was married to a military man and divorced in the early 70s. Married in 57. We went up there at West Point in the 60s. So I lived that life from the 60s to 70s as life was very different then. And I was an Army wife, and I had 3 sons. And but I realized that something was wrong, and I wasn't quite sure what. Something
Couldn't
just
put your
wasn't
finger
right.
on it, but you knew something was
I knew
wrong.
something wasn't right, and I
Yeah.
was trying to block all my feelings and just do what everybody wanted and block all my. Sounds crazy, doesn't it?
It sounds like what human beings do when they don't feel like they have permission to be themselves,
That's
right?
yeah.
Yeah, you have to
That
do.
You just worded it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I realized that wasn't right, and I went to seek out some guidance, and then one thing led to another, and then I met Dr. Lucas, and that was it. That was it. I felt like a person.
Well, you've done so much with your life, so by having you had a lot of conflict and things to figure out, but you took your own initiative and you
Yeah.
went and got help,
Yeah,
right?
I did.
And you
That's
raised
one of the best things I ever did for myself.
and you raised 3 children.
Yeah, although I lost my oldest son,
Oh,
and then the 2, he had a horrible accident.
oh, sorry.
That was in 75.
Uh-huh.
We divorced in the early 70s. He was
How old was he?
16.
Oh, what a loss for you.
And then I had 2 other sons. One that ended up living with his father. He was 10. We had a fire in the house, and I sent him to live with his father, and he didn't want to come back, so he stayed with his father. Actually, his father won over as far as who was the right parent, who was the wrong parent.
He was a what?
He was a military man. He was a
Okay.
strong,
Ah,
thinking individual.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to say much more. It's just,
Okay.
yeah.
yeah.
And, yeah. Life can do some odd things, one parent can be stronger than another in as far as their mannerisms, not so much mental, but their attitudes and dictating and control and abuse and mental
yes.
abuse. Mental
Ah,
abuse. That's mental abuse.
Yeah.
Not allowing your children to flourish and be who they are.
Oh, that's tough. That is tough.
Yeah, that makes me angry just thinking about it.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a son in Arizona that's married with 3 children, and I have a son in Colorado that's married with 1 son. I don't see them very often, but I still work. I'm a hairdresser.
Uh-huh.
In fact, I'm going to be going to a nice salon now and get a haircut, and it is very uplifting to be with creative people,
Very good.
good people.
Very good.
Real
Well, I'm
people.
very, very happy to meet you.
Thank you.
We're gonna sign off because the tape, after it gets to be a certain time, I guess I can put it up on YouTube, but if it's around 15 minutes, I cut it there.
Great.
So now I know I don't
my
have any
God.
problems getting it up on the YouTube. But so nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
And
I'm thrilled to have met you. Yeah.
yeah, I'm thrilled to
Yeah.
meet you too.
Yeah.
And Dr. Lucas, it's nice to be here with you again today too.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah, you're welcome.
you. Right.
So I'm going to put this on
Went through a
YouTube
little
tonight.
bit of
Okay.
history with you,
Bye
Dr.
bye now.
Lucas.
Listen, yeah,
Mark Sehl signing off for the YouTube channel.
right.
Yes?
Yeah, but I have the desire to be closer than you say, because I often jump from one place